Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in to the PSP Podcast, featuring your friendly host, Percussive173, where PSP stands for Perk Spreads Positivity, where we educate.
The 3 E's, right? You can educate, you can entertain, you can be empathetic.
Have you encountered any gender-related obstacles or biases while building your career in content creation?
I would say the cyber stalking.
By bringing in the best of the best. You still do that, so let's not discount that. So what really made you go into streaming? What was that decision? What was that move that made you, Nick, as I'm very sorry, I know I'm teasing you, but it's literally, it's one of those things that we can do. Post everywhere, post often, and do it your own way. And have fun. And have fun and be yourself.
Fine. Have fun, honestly. Like that, I love that so much because it's so true. Like, if you like the content you're making, like if you're watching it and you like it, you're not the only person.
From fitness to establish a new habit or a routine, what is your message to them?
Start with less than you think you need.
Too fitting. Would love to get some tips and tricks of the trade on like how you kind of do things in the cosplay field.
Yeah, I'd love to go into that, especially because like I've done a little bit of everything, right? So I've made some costumes, I've bought some costumes, I have my friends' old costumes, I've commissioned costumes, I like craft all kinds of things, but also I wear things. Like there's a whole smorgasbord if I do a little bit of everything when it comes to cosplay.
To VTubing and animation. This is something that I may want to get into. How should they start?
Ooh, I think everyone should start on YouTube. I think YouTube is going to be your best place for launching
metrics that creators should be paying attention to, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think, and like specifically with like VTubing, I think it's, I think all of that is like kind of like the difficulty level is like bumped up to like expert.
And our goal at the PSP Podcast is to educate and inspire aspiring creators. And we are super excited for this week's episode, and we can't wait to see you there. So let's have a freaking party! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in. I'm Percussive173, and welcome on into another episode of the PSP Podcast, where Perk spreads positivity, and I'm your friendly host, Percussive, and today I am very excited to have the one and only Feeds here with me from Rain Above. Feed has been absolutely killing it with the clean transitions, with the gameplay edits, with the storytelling videos that keep people locked in. He's been helping so many different creators with all of the amazing things that this man does. I'm super excited to be able to talk with him, have him on the episode of the PSP Podcast with me. So Feeds, how we doing?
Doing good, man. Definitely appreciate you bringing me on. Hello, everybody. My name is FeedsXD. I am an editor, used to be streamer, but now most people know me as an editor and getting back into sniping as I used to be, where a lot of people know me from. But excited to get into it. There's a lot of information that these creators and streamers just don't have just because there's not people in their corner. So pick my brain today. Whatever you need, anyone that wants to listen, anything at all that I can say that helps someone, it will make everything worth it. So.
Absolutely, and I'm very excited to have you on because it's very rare that we actually break down and dive deep into all the cuts and edits that people make, and it's something that I think people, like a lot of creators, are going to especially love. I feel like when content creators go live, they end up going live, but they don't have the energy or the ideas on what they want to do and how they want to put things into a video. So, honestly, it's really interesting to, like, actually talk to somebody who's behind the scenes, behind the edits, and like putting things together. So what is the first thing you look for when somebody sends you a clip?
Yeah, so the way that I try to do it, tiny bit of backstory, while we're here, just for people to kind of get to know me.
Sure.
So I was a content creator for a long time. Been on TikTok. I've had millions of views. I've had great videos blow up. Things do well. And content creation was cool for me. But then I went to DreamHack Atlanta last year, which was my first ever event. And whenever I got to that event, I started looking around at all these creators, and I'm watching people walk up to these booths, asking for partnerships, for sponsorships, giving their pitch decks and stuff. And then you go on their TikTok and it's empty. And you go on their Instagram and there's no post. And then you go on Twitter and it's I'm live. And so I started to realize, I was like, okay, well, there's a lot of creators out there that have a huge community, or like an average of 30, 40, 50, 60 people. And then their offline content, there's just nothing there. And when you're trying to approach for these sponsorships and these partnerships, they do care, obviously, because you being live and having it. But if all you have to offer is right then and there, it's very difficult to get yourself any type of deal, any leniency or anything. You need to have a backup plan, no matter what happens. So I started looking around, and there was some editors in the community. That's just how it goes. There's always going to be shady people, unfortunately. And I just started realizing that there was a very small market for short form creators, or editors, excuse me. All the editors in the comm is usually long form, and every now and then it's a short form creator. And on top of that, of course, being affordable, just because the economy sucks. And so I was like, okay, I can be affordable. I know how to do this for myself. Maybe I can start doing it with other people. So in November-ish is when I started, and I just started doing random people here and there. And it wasn't until January till I really picked it up and decided to just kind of go full time and see how it went. And, still to this day, since January, I am full time. And at the end of the day, what I tell everyone is I only want to do what they want to do. I try to make their lives as easy as I can, to where all they need to do is spend 15, 20, 30 minutes one time a month and throw in your clips and stuff. Because if you are someone that is full-time, or you have enough hours where you are technically, people view you as full-time, when you're live for 5, 6, 7 hours or whatever, there's no reason you should not have content from those streams. You should be engaging. If you're doing an 8-hour stream and you're slacking and you're slogging, you don't really care, you're getting tired, turn it into 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, I get it that streaming is fun and we all want to do it for a long time. But when you're trying to appeal to an audience and for people to enjoy your content, your streams, it's the same thing like a YouTube video. You could pay someone to do a YouTube video, break it all down, get it done. And then after that, you upload the video and you're like, okay, I have no more content. And it's like, what do you mean you have no more content? You just have a 20-minute YouTube video that's filled with editing that you can break down into short forms to post it on your platform to help hype up the YouTube. There's just so many super simple ways that people just don't think about. And so in my opinion, if you are a streamer and you're dedicated and you have a passion, whether it be for gaming or you just want to make people laugh, or you genuinely do think that you have some type of, thing that you provide for people to tap in and tune in and watch you, there's no reason you should not be uploading at least once a week. I mean, there's no reason. If you're constantly streaming, it's already there.
And our job as content creators is to get the clips. And I know a lot of people they don't realize how busy a content creator's life is outside of just live streaming and getting those clips. And I know for me personally, I have this weird schedule where I try to get as many clips and stuff that I can out whenever I can, but my time is very limited because I work 2 jobs on top of being a streamer. And I have maybe 1 to 2 days, and typically I'll pump out 3 to 4, sometimes 5 short forms a week. And I always have off days, and I'm not able to kind of put my long form together. So for me, I know when you are in a stream, right, you want to find that one game where you can lead it to people from that game to your stream in the long form content. You want to find the little clips from that gameplay that you can lead people from the clips to your long form, to your stream, and let them see your personality as a content creator. And that's something that is really, really cool with video editors. And I see you find those little clips, those little trades, and are able to get those out to people. And not only you provide them in a video for them to post on a short form aspect, you can actually now post those clips onto Twitch itself. You can upload those clips that you send to YouTube and TikTok now onto Twitch. And it's a really cool feature that they added for clipping.
Yeah. And I mean, Like it's so hard because like there's a lot of people I could have this conversation with and they're going to provide this excuse or, oh, I'm busy, or, oh, I got stuff going on. And if you do, it's whatever. Like at the end of the day, if your mindset is that this is what I want to do, then you're going to do it. If you have stuff coming up, if you are busy, if you do have 2 jobs or whatever, then that's fine and figure it out, or you can't afford it financially, whatever the case may be. But if your mindset is that you want to get out there and want to do it, it's the stigma. Everyone already knows it takes one clip to blow you up. It takes one random short for someone to be like, oh, that guy's cool, let me pop into the stream. That's all it takes. And to do that 1 or 2 times a week, so something I didn't finish on, which was my fault. So with the process that I do for the people that hire me to do their edits and for these teams and stuff, I make it super, super simple. You go and you grab the, a couple clips or cool moments that you like from your stream and you throw it in a Google Drive, and that's it. That's literally all you do. You just put it in a drive, so that way when I'm ready to work on it for the weekend, I click on it. Hey, there's 5 new videos in there. That's what I'm working on for the weekend. And once it's done and edited and posted and all that for you, you have the whole week to figure it out. Or maybe you've stocked up on a bunch of clips and you have 20, 30, 40, 50 videos that no one's ever seen that are really good and you just don't have time for it or whatever. What a lot of people don't understand, I get it that you want to have recent stuff, and it's good to have recent stuff to reflect, who you are and, how things are going. Maybe you've had like a stream revamp or something, or maybe you've, moved houses or have a different background, whatever it may be. But short form is king, and with long form, long form is good and all that, but it's not a priority. Short form should be a priority. If you are a streamer, there's no reason you should be valuing long form over short form, because short form is going to give you the utmost best chance at getting out there, because you have multiple videos you can post a day, multiple videos you can post a week, multiple chances and opportunities you have to get out on these platforms and stuff, and not utilizing that and saying, oh, I just don't have time because of this. It's just too much for me. I can't. And it's like, well, okay, well, that one new viewer that you could have had to your stream because it's too much for you won't come to your stream. And now you're upset because then you'll have these people that'll complain, say, no one comes to my stream. It's because you don't do nothing. That's it. Because you don't have any set thing in place where you either hire someone to help you so you can stop having issues, or B, just find some way to make some time in to get it done. What I do is not difficult. And I will wholeheartedly say that. I'm not an experienced editor. I am not someone that's crazy. I'm not someone that has tons and tons of skill. I'm just a random dude that likes to make people happy. And I found out that editing videos for people could save them time and make them happy and could give them more time to stream, to fold laundry, to watch a TV show, whatever. And the short form aspect, which is what I cover on their short form socials, is done, and they can just wake up to videos being done for them. And it's a huge weight and relief for a lot of these creators, because I have over 20 clients that I manage every single week, and it's just a huge uplift for all of these teams and these brands and these creators just to know that that's done. They don't have to worry about it, and they don't even have to give it a thought. They just go to their channel and, oh, bam, there's my video from Feeds. And it's not anything to shout out or, oh, Feeds did this for me or whatever. Like, I am paid at the end of the day. Like, you could blow up and have millions of followers and stuff. I can't. That's a whole nother conversation. But asking people for stuff after they've blown up because you've done it is ridiculous. You get paid to do your job and you do it. So at the end of the day, that's like my take, is that we're all human and it's hard to do things alone. If you are forced to, or you can't afford it or whatever, that's fine. Someone like me, I wear my heart on my sleeve. If I can help you, I will. If it's X amount of time I'm going to have to spend with me being full-time, there's obviously boundaries there. But if I can, even if it's just advice, words are free, bro. It's freedom of speech. Like, just ask. Like, quit being afraid to ask a question of something you're curious about, because if it's going to help you and someone like me wants to help you, money does not have to be involved for you to gain that knowledge that you're trying to find. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with, is that they're afraid of reaching out because they think that everyone has an ultimatum of some background thing that's in it for them. And it just sucks. I wish we could be more positive on the timeline, and I wish that people would help more people, because then we would stop arguing all the time and we could just have just an awesome time and we could all be happy.
The timeline is just so interesting, because like there are so many people that just kind of jump at each other for like whatever the reason is, and I never really understand it. It's like my job as a content creator is to spread positivity. It's the whole reason why I put the PSP podcast together, and the way I spread positivity is by bringing people in, by educating aspiring and new creators to want to be able to delve into the world of content. But like everyone keeps saying, like when it comes to that, it's like the timeline is filled with like people from high school. It's like a high school drama. It's like a high school story. Okay, well that's cool and all, and like, but we're also, you can change that, and along with everyone around us, because we're adults, we can change that from it feeling like high school to feeling more professional, to feeling more incredible, because we together are people that will have the same goal. And like it's really interesting when it comes to like editing and stuff like that. Me personally, I use DaVinci. I like DaVinci. That's my go-to editing tool. It's what I try to use because I think it's the easiest to handle. But there's things that DaVinci is missing. It's like also getting an Adobe Pro license is very expensive, but Adobe Premiere is a very good tool to have. Like, what's your go-to editing software?
Yeah, so again, this kind of goes back to the whole thing where like everyone thinks that I have this insane knowledge and everyone thinks that I'm so skilled and so crazy, and it's like I'm not. Like I have DaVinci and I have CapCut. I would say throughout my week, I'm using DaVinci like 10, 20%, and I'm using CapCut for the rest of it. Again, what I do is not crazy. What I do does not take a crazy amount of work or some skill or some knowledge that I've watched 10 crazy thousand videos of YouTube to understand it. Like I went to CapCut because of mainly the captions. That's like the biggest thing because it is so time consuming to have to do captions manually. And CapCut is just a huge save. Now, for a lot of creators, they don't want to do it because the most obvious option is that it's not free to get some of the features and stuff that CapCut has. I think it's like $20 now you have to pay. As a full-time editor,
I think it's still $9.99.
Whatever. Yeah. Well, for me, I pay $20. I don't know if it's changed or whatever, but anyways. So yeah, but I get it. If you don't want to pay that money or whatever, that's fine. But it also depends on where your head's at. Like if I wasn't a full-time editor and I just got back to streaming and did my own thing and didn't take this new like chapter of my life and try it, I would probably still pay for CapCut because I still think that it utilizes so much. And specifically, there was a time whenever Black Ops, what game was it? It wasn't Black Ops 6. I can't remember. Maybe it was Black Ops 6. There was the new zombies that had came out on Black Ops 6. I think it was. My brain's farting. But anyways, regardless, some Call of Duty, there is the new zombies that came out, and there was a glitch that people were doing, and it was a boat glitch where you had two stairs that came down, and you sat in the middle, and you could block the stairs with destroyed boats. And so I looked at it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. So I started using it, grinding for camos, whatever. And then the next day I woke up, and it was patched, and just like the rest of the community, I was like, oh, no, it's patched. I was having so much fun. Like I was like around like 200 in zombies, and no one could touch me. And then I was just messing around, just being stupid and just trying to find a way to find hope. And I found like my own way to do the glitch to like unpatch the patch. And so I was like, okay, like maybe we'll do a video on this. So like, it's not my glitch, but I found a way to fix it. And I want people to know. And, I don't have like money ties or anything to like my branding. If the videos do well, like that has nothing to do with it. It's just for content purposes only. And so I posted it and I went to bed and I woke up the next day and I had 400,000 views on a video that was live at 1:00 in the morning for about 6-7 hours. So it had barely touched TikTok. It was 1:00 in the morning when I decided to upload this. It was a scripted video, me sitting there and be like, hey guys, what's going on? My name is Feeds, blah, 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 going through the whole tutorial and stuff. And it just absolutely blew up. So understanding this, and this was right before I went full time, and this is actually a big credible piece to me going full time, because something that a lot of people, which you can write this down if you want to, but a lot of people are searching for that big moment and they're searching for that viral video so everything makes sense and that it's all worth it or whatever. And that was my worth it moment. It blew up. I had 300 something thousand views. A couple of days later, I think it's at like 600,000 or whatever. It got crazy amounts of follows and stuff. And I was like, okay, I'll just continue to do this. So that was when recently TikTok would allow you to go live from the PC and like the restream or whatever. And so I started going live on TikTok, and I started doing hosting lobbies because a lot of people were struggling doing these glitches. And I would have people come into my video saying, oh, what you're doing is terrible, like fake promotion, it doesn't work. And I'm like, stay in the stream for like 15 minutes, just stay here, watch, guarantee it. They'll stay, the glitch would work, and they'd be like, oh man, I'm so sorry, that was so rude of me. I'm like, hey, like I'm just glad you're good, like you go do the glitch. And I would host lobbies. I would have like 100+ people in my stream every single time. They would be asking me tons of questions. What about this? What about that? They would be telling me about new glitches to try out, and you should do this, you should do that. And I think I uploaded about 11 videos straight of the topic. Like every single day I was live, every single day I would do a video. I was working at a car dealership at the time, so I would do my normal 8-hour shift, come home, I would get straight on to zombies, straight on to content, and my socials were just booming. It was going crazy. And then I posted one of them on Twitter, and then my Twitter thing went crazy. It had like 2,000 something likes, and just everything just went off. And that, to me, the whole reason why I'm saying all this and why all this context matters and all my yapping is because I understood at that moment that niches were a thing, and people don't understand what that means. And they was like, oh, you should just find your niche. And everyone's like, oh, I've been finding my niche, I'm playing Black Ops 6. That's not your niche. Like it's so crazy when I found it out, because I started learning, and that was my big mistake too. And I knew it at the time, and I'd stopped doing the zombie stuff. Now, granted, most of the glitches had fell through. I probably could have milked it for a little bit more, or I could have just transitioned into zombies content and still picked up some from it, but I didn't. I decided to do what I was normally doing, and then I fell off again or whatever. But it was at that moment when I really understood what niches actually meant and how to be actually viral. Now, a lot of the people that hire me and stuff, they just, throw their clips, and I post it every now and then. Like I had one recent creator do a night market video on Valorant, and his hit 300,000 views. So it's like clips can blow up and stuff, but if you're looking for some type of consistency, there's just no doubt about it. You have to be in a niche if you're trying to search for those numbers and that big break for yourself. It's all about niche.
And honestly, I couldn't agree more, because like we even did a podcast with Serena a while back about finding your niche in a world of content. And like, honestly, people are like, oh, well, I'm just going to play a specific video game. No, it's beyond that. It's like, for example, with Call of Duty being as oversaturated as Call of Duty is, you got to find your niche inside of that niche to be able to find something that people are going to want to see. Like, are you that goofy creator that's going to have the funniest clapbacks in the world like I am? Probably not. I mean, are you going to be like, because I have no shot. I can't shoot a sniper to save my life. But I tell people I'm a sniper, and it's like funny. And like, I'll sometimes be at the bottom of the leaderboard, and other times I'll be at the top of the leaderboard and just running around with a sniper and absolutely owning people. Like, it's specific niches that people have inside of the world of content within your own specific game that allow you to be able to grow. And it's on top of that, it's consistency. And I tell all creators that when they're trying to put content out there, because content is the most important thing to help you to grow, put content out there that's going to immediately hook someone. Instant hook. Otherwise, they're going to look at you and they're going to be like the sad dog eyes, or like the weird dog eyes, and be like, the fuck? I mean, sometimes even that's a hook itself, but it's about how you play it off. It's about what you do. It's like, are you going to go into somebody's stream that says, I'm live right now, and every time somebody says donk-a-donk, I get an extra shot of whiskey in my stream. Are you going to go to that stream? Probably not. But if you go to somebody's stream and they have a hook that says a quad collat in Call of Duty, and I'm not saying the whole clip thing, but if you get the hook, immediately you're going to look at that and you're going to say, holy shit, a quad collat? I have to see this. He's got to be bullshitting, because that stuff's so rare.
Yeah, and I want to chime in real quick on that specific note too. What a lot of people aren't thinking about too, they're like, oh, scripting content is boring, I don't like watching it myself or whatever. And it's like, you obviously you do whatever you want, it's your content,
right?
But it appeals to sponsors and partners and people that are trying to brand their products and give you free stuff to review so hard. And
Absolutely.
People being stuck in that mindset of, I'm not going to record a 5-10 second video, that's cringy. And it's like, well, it's also cringy that you're not going to get this cool sponsor of Manscaped and you get to do a photo shoot wearing some boxers. It's like, if you would put the effort in and show these people and show these investors and these brands and these companies and these teams and stuff, show them what you're about and that you will go the extra mile, whether it makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable or not. You should obviously never do anything that makes you feel right out. But if you're willing to give things a chance, and if you're willing to switch it up, like one of the biggest things that irks me so much in this community, because you see it every single year, is people that'll be live for like a year and they'll go live 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week and they'll do it forever. And they'll say, oh, no one ever comes to my streams. No one ever watches me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, A, you don't have content. B, you don't put in the time in. C, when you do upload, it's like 40 straight seconds of dead space of you running from A bomb to B bomb because there's no one on the site. And It's like, you have to filter out that stuff. You have to, like, what's the word? Trying to think. I can't think of the word. It's like the first few seconds of every single video.
Oh, it's a hook.
I can't think of the word. It'll come to me later. I'm annoyed now. But the first few seconds are the most important off of anything you do, even a stream. Like even if someone pops in a stream and you're about to have a big moment or something, like that first little initiative of what's going down or something is the most important. But it mainly applies to content, not necessarily streams. And if you post a video and they start watching your video and it's not 10 seconds in until anything funny, relatively exciting, or relatable happens, they're just going to swipe away. And then you're going to get mad. Be like, oh, that was a dope clip. And it's like, yeah, it was a dope clip. It was really, really funny. And you're a talented creator. The problem is it took them 40 seconds to get to that point, which they're not going to stay for. And
I made that mistake.
Don't understand.
I made that mistake. And one of the funniest things is I reposted the video. So, in one of my old, in my old PSP podcast intro, you'll hear me yell 508 meters because I did a snipe in Warzone 2 on Al Mazrah at 508 meter long snipe. So I first uploaded the 508 meter long snipe, and it was 30 minutes of me looking down a scope, missing a shot, looking down a scope, missing a shot. No one cares. No one gives a crap. So then I finally hit the shot, and I was like, 508 meters! And I had like 12 views on the video. And it got like 100 on YouTube. It had 10 on TikTok. So I spoke with one of my friends. I spoke with The Only Shady, and he's like, dude, it's because you have this amount of dead space. Cut this out and just play the end of the clip. And he's like, wait, but that's only like a 3-second clip. And I'm like, it won't matter. So I hit the shot, and then so what? Actually, the way we decided to do it was, I yelled 508 meters, and saw the kill cam, and I zoomed in on the fact that it was a 508 meter thing. Right. So then we went back to me missing a couple snipes with like a little nope, and it was an 8-second long video because then I eventually hit the snipe, and that video got over 130,000 views. So it's not just about the content that you put forward on the clips, it's about how you showcase your content too. And brands love to see you do introductory videos and to be able to sell them things. You have to start making content for brands. You have to start making content for your viewers, and you have to start making content that you like. And it's all of that allows you to find your niche content, and you don't have to do there is no set formula. You do what you want because you want to do it, but you have to find what works, and you have to be able to appeal to other people, or else you're not going to get the brand deals that you want.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's definitely a lot of nerdy stuff that I could get into, is like little sound effects and music you're using and stuff like that. I would say probably the right out best advice I could give to anybody that ends up watching this video, anyone that's watching the stream, anyone that's curious about content, or they're falling off, or they're not doing good, or whatever. And this may not apply to you, of course, but you need to be splitting your audio. I cannot tell you how many times, if you're uploading a video on TikTok and you have Red Rum playing in the background while you're sniping and stuff, it's not going to go anywhere, and if it does, you get lucky. You're going to get your video flagged, something that a lot of people don't understand. And I actually said this the other day to one of my favorite guys. His name is Jimmy. He's a dope dude. I told him this the other day because he was asking me for advice on how to grow and how to get out there. What a lot of people don't understand is that there's not, when you're uploading your content to whatever platform you're uploading on, there's no one reviewing it. There's not a person that's sitting down. I don't know why. I feel like some people have the stigma that someone is behind the desk and they're just watching a video approved. It's all AI. It's all AI. It's all pixelated, and it's all word and music driven. So when you have words popping up, when you can have a clear gameplay that doesn't show anything weird, of course, most of the time, I would hope not. Then obviously the music and stuff that you're playing, if you have a double audio or things that are layered and stuff, the AI is picking up on all of that. So the best way to grow and how to get out there, which YouTube is a little bit different. YouTube has a 48-hour threshold, but every other platform has a 24-hour threshold. And what that means is that within the first 24 hours, every single thing that happens in that moment is the most important. And it's even a lot tighter than 24 hours, but the general consensus is 24 hours. And so what that means is that every like, every comment, every reply, there's people out, and there's videos that have blown up that don't reply and that don't like or whatever. And I'm not saying that this applies to everyone. And once your video starts hitting the For You page, you really don't have to do nothing once you're there. Right. But the problem is that everyone is fighting and competing to get there. And so a lot of people's like, oh, I'm not going to log into my TikTok one time a day and reply to 3 people on my video. And it's like, well, okay, well, you deciding to not do that is now restricting yourself from growing even more. I don't know if it's changed. I could be wrong. I know on YouTube this is true.
It is still that way for TikTok.
But on YouTube specifically, and hopefully on TikTok, when you reply to something, I think within the first 24 hours, if you reply to a comment, it gets boosted out to 5 new people. Now, there's obviously a big chance that those 5 new people can just scroll past or whatever, and you will never know that as a creator. You will just look at your stuff, and there's so much that happens in the background that as a creator, you're just going to have no idea. But that's why it's so important. And so that's kind of to not necessarily transition to things, but going back to the people that hire me and my clients and stuff, a lot of people that I work with are bigger streamers. We all hate using that word. I hate using that word, but there's a lot of the streamers that I work with have 20, 30, 40, 50 people in their chat, sometimes even more. I work with people that have a couple hundred in their chat. The reason why that matters is once you get to that extent of streaming, and if you're a streamer right now and you are averaging, I would say any more than 10. If you have more than 10 people in your stream and you're a full-time streamer, or you have the means to do full-time and you're not doing short form, you are missing out so bad, and you don't understand how much you're hurting yourself. And it has nothing to do with being judgmental about your content or about what you're doing. You live your life and you do what you think is best. But if your specific complaint is you being upset that you're not growing and that people aren't watching you and people aren't supporting you, your support is right there. That 10 viewers that you have watching, all 10 of them can go on your TikTok and say, oh, that's a dope snipe. Bam, that's 50 new people to be able to watch your video. It gets pushed out to the For You page more. Maybe they like it and they see it and they share it with a friend. They're like, yeah, look at this. Like, you've been trying to hit this for months and this guy just did it in a matter of 2 minutes. Like, there's so much that people don't understand. And with these people that live stream and that do this and that have a great community, especially like in Discord and stuff, if you're very interactive and keep a family feel or whatever, then hell yeah, they're going to watch your stuff. Of course. Like, if they love you enough to be live, think about how much they would love you if you posted offline content. They want to already see you when you're live, but they don't have the time. They're busy, family, work, kids, they're going to KFC because they're hungry. I don't know. They're doing something. They don't have the time at that specific time that you need them. And as a streamer, you have to be understanding. Oh, yeah, I get it. No big deal. You don't have to come in my stream. And there are that get egotistical about it, and they don't deserve what they get. But for the people that care and for the people that have a loving community, you obviously, as any normal human being would understand, people don't have all the time to make for you. And even myself, like, even being full-time editor, I am at home all the time and I am at my setup a lot and I'm working. And there's so many people that's probably watching me right now. And I'm usually in their stream 5-10 minutes. I try to go to almost everyone that I can, say hi, say whatever, just for a few minutes, because I care. And I'm not doing it for any self thing of like, oh, I seen feeds today. It's like, no, I want you to know that I seen you today. And, but it's like, forming that connection, there's people just like me out there that it has nothing to do with being in your stream for a few minutes. It has everything to do that I care about you and I made you a part of my day, even if it was just for a few minutes. And when it comes to offline content, that is the same exact way. And I'm going to repeat the same thing that I just said for people to hear me more clearly. If you are streaming and you have a loving community that cares about you, think about how much they are going to enjoy your short form and long form content when you're not live, when they can watch you on their own time versus being quote unquote forced or having to rewatch your VOD to enjoy the stream that you streamed today. And if you would post some content, whether they're able to make it to your live, whatever, but automatically they're already happy because they're like, oh, I couldn't make a stream today, but I did see that crazy snipe that you just posted, gave it a like, commented on it. Dude, that was so dope. I wish I could have been there. And it builds that relationship. That's what another thing that people don't get. Like, there's so much nerdy shit to this. Like, it builds the relationship. It gives you a better community. It gives you shit to talk about. There's so much, but people are missing so hard because they just say that they don't have time. And it's like,
and it's more than
if that's
that,
how you
though.
feel, it's whatever.
Some of the best content creators out there right now are Minecraft content creators. And here's why. And like, everyone's like, oh, well, what are you talking about Minecraft? Oh, I'm Steve. But no, it's these Minecraft creators. They take a boring game where you place blocks and shit, where you shoot with an arrow, and they come up with these immaculate redstone things, or they come up with these amazing stories, or they do some goofy things, or they create some internalized games just utilizing the game mechanics of Minecraft themselves. And they take something that's just as simple as running away from a couple people, and then they call it now a manhunt, where they're taking things and doing like an open world game inside of Minecraft, and it's something that becomes really interesting. They're taking things to the next level. They're becoming vocal. They're talking about certain things. They're doing storytellings. They're talking about why their mentality was that they came up with their build. They're being interactive with the community and causing people to literally join. And like, what's really interesting is there was this streamer, I don't remember her name specifically, but she went on and she's like, hey, I'm dropped out of college and I want to make content full time for the first year because I want to see how it goes. So I'm going to put this video and be ridiculously vulnerable and appeal to your empathy, so that maybe the right people see this and then I could start posting more consistently. And she has 2 videos on her account and she's posted back-to-back days. That person now has over 1.6 or 106,000 followers, or 1,000 followers. And it's because of how she's doing it, why she's doing it, and she's actually doing it for like a legitimate reason for herself, and she's being empathetic. And I keep talking about like different styles of Minecraft streamers because like the way that they create content is some of the coolest things to watch. I mean, sure, you have Cpreds, you have the Only Shady, you have Cpreds who does storytelling, you have the Only Shady who does Persona, you have Lucci who creates the Florida Man vibes, and like Dr. Chubbs that just like they own Battlefield and they own Call of Duty, and they're just ridiculously good at the game and funny and awesome to watch. But it's such a different mentality to find someone who's confident, that's found their niche, that knows what they want to do. And that's where I think the stuff that you offer is amazing, because you will post clips. You can now see different styles of clips. People can see it from the analytics themselves and then decide on the route that they want to go.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like a good point that I want to touch on, because I can already hear some people like rolling their eyes about you talking about Minecraft and stuff. And it's like, that applies to everything.
Yes.
Your brain just has to be big enough to comprehend that you can apply that to so many things. So obviously with Minecraft, the biggest issue that I don't like, and the biggest excuse I always hear from these creators and these streamers and these content creators or whatever, is that, oh, someone else has already done that. It's like, someone else did it before him, and someone else did it before him. Someone else did it before, like it's a copy of a copy of a copy. Like, you got to understand that if you don't genuinely want to do it because you feel that way and you don't want that type of content for your community, that is one whole thing. But if you are just labeling the excuse of, oh, so-and-so's done it already, I don't want to take his idea, he's taking it from someone else. Like, it's not that deep. It's not. We're all just trying to grow, and we're all just trying to make people happy at the end of the day. And there's so many things that can apply with Warzone videos. You have loadout videos. With the new hostage thing that got introduced to Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7, you can take people hostage, so start chatting like crazy and stuff. You know, wonderful girl Steffi Evans, you know, she makes Toxic Men content and stuff and calls people out and stuff. And it's just there's so many areas that you can go and do. There's so much zombies content, loadout
there's
content.
a million avenues.
It's just there's so much. I mean, you can, like with my girl Jinx that plays Fragpunk, like you can go on Fragpunk and do loadout videos for people that don't understand, or what guns are better, or what agents are better. Same thing with Valorant. You can go on Valorant and start talking about how Sova has good lineups, or how you can smoke better as Omen. Like there's just so many avenues, but it just all matters of what is appealing to you. What do you like to do? If you are really invested into Roblox, let's say you love Roblox to death and you wish more people would get into it, show them what you're excited to get into. Hey, today a new video I'm going to be showing you guys about Roblox Dodgeball. If you didn't know, Dodgeball is a new game mode they added in Roblox, blah, blah, blah. So many things that you can do if you have the passion for it. But that's the problem, is that people are limiting their brains to where they're not comfortable with comprehending that there are opportunities, and when they see something that they could do, they're like, oh, it's just too much work, that's just not for me. And it's like, yeah, that's fine if that's how you feel, but
on your point, like, do you know how rare it is to be the first person to do something and then have everyone see it?
Yeah, I was the first ever short form editor.
Happens.
That's why everyone loves me, because I was the first editor ever, and that's why people love me so much.
So my point is, like, it never happens. Like, so even looking at Robert, like in the VR chat, like the thing that blew up where he doesn't like this rock. Like, there's so many people who do goofy VR chat. Like, look at Crab. He made content by walking around by just saying crab. it was funny as all hell.
There's another guy that used to, and you probably seen it, the guy that played Among Us, and he would like chase down like these kids that load up and stuff, and he's like, come here, and he's like chasing them in the VR and yelling at them, and they're like, no. It's like, it's so funny. And that's another thing too, another really good topic that I would like to touch on, is that if you are okay with talking, whether that's just friendly trash talk, maybe there is someone toxic and you have the confidence enough to clap back and stuff, that alone, there's just so much content there. If you are confident enough to call someone out or just be like that. So like a big thing with me, like especially like in Black Ops 7, a lot of reasons why a lot of my tweets and stuff get a bunch of love and my clips and stuff is because anytime that I would have an opportunity to talk trash to someone that's either saying something about me, a girl that's in my party because they say, go make a sandwich, shut up. It's like, it's so stupid. But it's like, if you have the confidence to speak up and to clap back, it doesn't have anything to do with defending someone or being there for someone. It's just you have now created an opportunity of content where this guy is saying something really mean, and instead of taking it in a defensive way, call him out, put him on blast, and then let's have more positive people in the world that actually care about providing happiness rather than tearing each other down over stupid, simple things that none of us care about when we go to bed.
For example, I love Steffi. She's amazing. Like, I'll talk Steffi up day in and day out. But so one of the things that Steffi does one of the things that Steffi once told me was, if you're in Call of Duty, it doesn't matter if you're at the bottom of the leaderboard. Talk your shit and mean it and have fun with it. Because eventually, the more you play COD, you're going to get good at the game. Then eventually, you being at the bottom of the leaderboard is going to put you at the top of the leaderboard. So, and then you're going to talk your shit and you're going to know how to clap back and you're going to be able to talk your game and you're going to be like, yeah, look at me now type deal. But like, Steffi does it in such an amazing manner where she's able to call out toxic men and she's able to call out fragile men, and it's just second nature to her at this point because she's so good at doing it. Like, she told me herself when she was on the podcast that she literally has a book of like regular insults that everyone that are just so common that guys come up with, like, make me a sandwich or get in the kitchen or like go wash my dishes. And it's like, it gets boring at this point. It's like, there's only so much you can do. So, but there are a lot of different people like Steffi out there that are doing her style of content. But there were people who did what Steffi was doing before Steffi was doing her content. Like, yes, sir. Cheer Girl, for example. She's one of the people who, and I'm pretty sure, don't quote me, I'm pretty sure she was started before Steffi or prior to Steffi and was doing stuff like that. Like, it's not about what the amount of people doing it. It's about how can you do it that makes it authentically you. And as a content creator, you hear me preach in previous episodes about being enthusiastic and authentically yourself, because you're never going to grow if you just copy other people and you don't have fun doing it. You're never going to grow if you're like tired and you're on stream and you're playing Call. I actually ended stream today, like around 6 o'clock. I was planning to go till like 7 or 8, and then hop in here and then do the podcast. But I ended streaming around like 5 because I was just tired. And like, I don't want to give my viewers a tired me. I want to actually give them the high energetic me, like the fun me, the me who's going to walk around Warzone lobbies and absolutely dismantle people and then ask them what happened. Because that's where I'm good at the game. I suck at S&D, but I'm really good in Warzone. It's about finding your niche and doing the things that you want to do. And like, it's huge when it comes to your editing, because the moment you find those clips that you love, you're going to remember that for the rest of the day. And the moment we get off this podcast here, I'm planning to hop down right in front of here and edit 3 of those clips that I had just from today into short form content so I can start posting back on my main channel. I actually am trying to get 37 content pieces lined up, which is why I haven't posted a while, so I can post consistently for the next month and then continue to create more on top of that so I don't fall into this cycle where I have limited content.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I used to do, back when I used to stream too, I used to do the same thing. I would literally have streams. I'd be like right at an hour. I'd be like barely streaming. I'd be like an hour in, and I would be noticing that I'm getting like a lot more angrier, like angry to the point where I'm like just genuinely frustrated at the game rather than trying to be funny for anyone watching. And I've literally looked at the camera and be like, hey, like I'm just, no, this is, I already see what's happening. It's not going to happen. Appreciate you guys coming in. I'll see you later. And it's like, it's hard because for a lot of the people that would apply to, with them being full-time and they're relying on this for their job and stuff, like, yeah, I get it. And it kind of puts you in a little bit tough of an aspect. But in general, I don't really think that there's an argument there, because it's very easy to say, like, yeah, even if you do this for a full-time job, would you really want someone to tune into your stream when you're upset and when you're getting mad like that, or when you're depressed like that and stuff? Like, stream, take a break, go eat, go do something, and just try to get back onto it. Because just because you in stream today doesn't mean you're done for the day. Like, you can do whatever you need to for a couple hours, and you could be right back on it. Like that past couple hours never happened, and you can go right back into it.
As a content creator, you also have to keep your viewers in mind. Like, what are your want your viewers to see of you? What do you want a first-time viewer to see of you? And if you're upset and you're depressed and you're yelling at the game and you're getting upset because someone called you fat, like, no one wants to see that. If you're consistently dying at the game and like you're just getting annoyed at the actual game, even though everybody loves the game and can't understand why you're not good at the game, then go play a different game. Have fun. Look at it later and like try and pop back at it once you kind of play it a little more and like figure it out. Like, that's going on with me in Battlefield. I tried Battlefield. I was fucking awful at it. I'm terrible at Battlefield. And like, I've never played Battlefield before Battlefield 6. And then you see like MZ, who I raided into earlier after that stream, literally sniping people across the map and like running around with just like a sniper and dropping like 78 kills in a match. And it's like, you make it look so easy, but it's because they're so good at it and they've been doing it for so long. And like, these types of things, to be able to generate clips, there's 3 things that really play into it deeply. Number 1, your own mentality. Number 2, how you view the clip. And number 3, is it going to showcase your passion? And when you combine all of those 3 together, there was a clip that I had where all I did was stare into the camera and zoom in my eyes on the beat of the drum. That clip got over 200,000 views.
Yeah.
There's ways that you can do certain things, but are you genuinely happy with the outcome of it?
Yeah. And like a lot of the time too, like it has nothing to do with your content being entertaining or being something skillful or you being super, super funny. Like, being relatable is like the only thing that most people are genuinely searching for.
True.
Like, a lot of the interactions and stuff, like, think about comedians. that's the number one reason why all of these comedians blow up, because they've related to them in some way, some shape or form, some aspect, some awkward situation they were in, some stupid one night stand, a joke about a baby daddy. I don't know, just any silly, stupid joke that's going to resonate of a situation that they were in. And now they like that because they appealed to something and turned a situation that they used to have that they thought was baggage into something was funny, and they made them laugh about their own situation that they thought was stupid. And that's the beautiful thing about life, is that once we become relatable and once we give people content that they could be like, oh, like, yeah, like I tried to, take that guy out of the tank too, and he just kept spinning around and spinning around. I don't know, just anything could apply. But yeah, like relatability 100% is what a lot of people don't really fully understand, and they think they have to be the funniest in the room. And especially with someone credible like MZ, she's a dope girl. I've known her for years and years. And that's the other thing too. Like a lot of these creators that are trying to be like MZ or other big creators, or Steffi or whatever. Again, like I know we don't like the titles big creators, whatever. When you're trying to get to the point where of the other people that you view as like, that's who I want to be, your role model per se. A lot of what it seems like that they're in is like, oh, they're not going to notice me until I'm also really cracked at the game. And it's like, no, like
they notice. They notice you.
Yeah, like so many people that are friends are the most like bipolar, like opposite people that just click heads, but because of what the content that they make or what they laugh about or whatever, like you could be super insane at sniping, and then you could have someone that is absolutely terrible at sniping, but then when they die by a sniper, they say some crazy, silly, funny comment, and it makes that streamer that's their role model laugh. Like there's so many ways that you can appeal to people to be their friends, and I kind of really think that that's the problem nowadays, is everyone is trying to be like someone else. And if you're really skillful at the game, they believe that until they reach a certain skill, that you're not going to care about them, which is so far from the truth.
One of the things that you have to understand as a growing content creator is you never know who's watching. You never know, because I'm going to tell a very relatively sad story just to kind of prove this point. A couple years back, I was in a very rough financial spot. There was a situation where I was at negative $700 on my account, and I was getting overdrafted every day. My family couldn't help. My grandparents couldn't help. I had no way of getting out of this financial rut. And it happened just after I got paid too, because my student loans got taken out, my personal loan got taken out, my credit card bills got taken out all on the same day. And it left me at like negative $630, and I had a $200 overdraft fee a day. I posted and I said, guys, I hate doing this, but I genuinely need some help. I don't know how to get out of this spot. And this is why I say you never know who's watching. You never know who's paying attention, because not only did I have people that I've never heard of, I had some large set creators reach out. I had someone donate $1,000 to me. And I was like, do you want it back? How can I get this back to you? And they're like, no, it's yours. Just genuine. Just keep it. And I'm like, shout out to Bad Bear Gamer for that. Like, it was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. And like, you definitely didn't have to do that. And I appreciate the hell out of you. I had Shady send me money. I had Steffi send me money. I had random people on the internet send me money, to the point where I was not only positive, but I had almost $1,000 positive from where I was. I personally was donated over $2,000 in the time span of 2 days, to the point where I had to make a tweet. And I said, guys, enough, please, enough. I can't do it anymore. I don't want to take any more of your guys' money. That's just not who I am. And like, you never know who's watching you. You never know who's paying attention. And sure, for me, it happened in like kind of a sad type situation, but you never know who's watching you when you're in a happy type of situation too. Like, your content that you make, if you're passionate about it and you post it, you never know who it's going to reach. I never in a million years think that I would be able to talk to Shady like he's my brother, or to be able to talk to C-Preds like he's my brother, or to be able to talk to Steffi like she's my sister. I never would think of that. I would never feel like that. I would never even think of being on the same podcast as BB Jess. But the point is this. If you show yourself as a genuine and wholehearted individual who's passionate about making content, and you enjoy the content that you put forward, then people are going to pay attention. And that's what people miss. It doesn't matter if you have 0 people in your chat, or 2,000 people in your chat. What matters is if you are in your chat. And when I mean that like that is, we see every comment. We see every people. We see every viewer. It may take us a minute, but I promise we do. You need to be invested in your chat, and that's going to allow people to connect with you. And you can do that for your content, which is why editing is so important, and finding an editor to help you get the content out is so important. So I really want to kind of switch gears on this and talk about your editing style, your workflow. Like, can you break down your start to finish mentality? How do you get the raw to the final product? What's the first thing that you look for?
Yeah, I mean, so with the way that I try to function for the most part is I work in a way that people would not agree with because this saves myself a lot more time. But I do almost all of my normal like client edits every Sunday and Monday. I will pretty much sit down, and with the point that I'm at now, with how many clients and how many people depend on me, it's anywhere between 60 to like 90 shorts that I'm doing within like the day-ish, 2 days. And so what I do is I obviously sit down, I have a spreadsheet of who's on what week, because another reason when people hire me and stuff, they're like, oh, well, the month's not started yet, I don't want it to be awkward. And it's like, it's not awkward for me. It's like you start next week and you go on 4 weeks from now. Like it's simple math. It's not hard. So my packages that I do are like rolling stuff. It doesn't have to be every December, January, February. Like it's just whatever is convenient on your time, and how soon can we get from you giving me the content and pay me to when we can get our first upload. Like that's my priority, but not to rush it. Like usually, like if someone hits me up on like a Wednesday and they're like, oh, I want to go with you. And like, I'll just tell them like, oh, like first upload probably won't be until next Monday. But then at the same time, I've had people reach out to me on Saturday, which is the day before I usually edit. And they'll say, hey, I want to start this, whatever. And I'll say, hey, perfect timing. I can fit you in. So usually on Sundays, I'll eat whatever, get ready, sit down, and I'll look at everything that I have to do. And that's why, for me specifically, it's very, very important, because there are a couple people that I do search for their clips. I don't really have to do it, but I just do it anyways, because it's not really that much of time, especially if you're working with a streamer that has a insane amount of love in their chat and they're clipping stuff all the time or whatever. But at the same time, a small keynote that I do kind of want to throw in here is that's also the issue that I get a lot of the times. I've had, like, no sugarcoating, I've had well over 100 messages saying, oh, I would love to hire you, I have the money, but unfortunately I don't have no clips because no one's there to clip for me. And it's so hard to remain being professional and not come off as a egotistical, nerd or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to say, the big words, but like, it's just difficult because they think that they have no one to rely on and they have no one to depend on and stuff. And being in that mindset is very, very tough. But with the way that I look at it and with my content back when I was active, because like I have the excuse of like, I'm an editor, so I don't really edit for myself. Is that the best mindset to have? No, it's not. But me personally, I don't really care. I post my stuff when I get it. I'll probably go crazy when Black Ops 7 drops. But until then, I don't have a passion or a drive. So like, people saying, oh, well, Feeds, if you uploaded your own content, it's like, thank you, but like, I don't want to. Like, as per me, I just want to focus on my clients. But again,
hold on one second. This is important. On that note, everyone has their own goals and their own notion. So just because he may not want to post now doesn't mean it's the same goal as you. Everyone has different goals and different aspirations, and there's a reason why I run this podcast, and there's a reason why I do things the way I do. But I want to point that out there because everyone's goal is completely different. But go ahead.
No, 100%. No, you're all good. But but that's the biggest thing that I try to tell them is like, yeah, at the end of the day, I get that you think that you have no one to depend on. But when I do, so let me give context before I get into the rest of it, which is not really much at all. But the context behind it is that a lot of people think, oh, no one's there to clip for me. I just don't remember things. I can't do it, whatever your situation is. You have to understand, outside of the excuses and things that you have going on, you have to understand that if your mindset is that you have no one there to help you or to clip things or whatever, you have to force yourself into that mindset to be your own person. There's just no way around it. If you don't do it yourself and you have no one that's going to do it for you, nothing is going to get done. It's just very common arithmetic. So with Black Ops 7, with the beta that we played, it was, I I think it was Thursday. I think it was Thursday when it happened, and then Sunday or Monday when it ended. I can't remember. It was like 4 or 5 days. Out of the whole time of Black Ops 7, I recorded about I think 78 clips in total is what I had on the beta of like things that I'd hit, playing search, respawn, funny moments, interactions, whatever. And I did not record one bit. I did not press record and let it go on for a long amount of time. I did not record for 8 hours and have to go search back through my own footage or my own recording. I had OBS replay buffer, and I have my equal sign on my keyboard set to clip, and I have it set to 1.5 minutes. And I just turn on stop or start replay buffer. And I would do that every time before I got into my games with my buddies and stuff. And then anytime I would hit a clip in my head, oh, that's so dope. Click. Like that's it. It has nothing to do with forgetting about it. It's you're rendering that that's something cool, and you're rendering that you want other people to see it.
So this is something that I do want to show you, or that I do want to kind of show, because you are so 100% correct. So I'm going to switch scenes for a second. So give me a moment. I am going to bring feeds with me. So I'm going to first go to this, and I'm going to minimize it because this isn't what matters. This isn't what's important. This next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go ahead and bring feeds so you can actually see them and hear them. And then I'm going to take Tangy and I'm going to disappear it. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a display capture to here so I can actually capture the display that I want, which I think is going to be, this is my primary. No, that's not my primary. I want this one. All right, so now you guys can see all my stuff, right? You guys can see everything. I want to show you guys how easy it is to clip something. First off, if you notice by looking at my OBS, right? Hold on, I'm almost there. I'm almost at a point where we're good to go. All right. So the first thing that you notice is that if you look at my OBS here, my replay buffer right here is on. My replay buffer is on, and it's set to 1 minute and 30 seconds. Now, why is this important? And I know I have a ton of stuff open here because this is how I see chat. This is how I see my feeds. This is how I see each one of my channels. And this is how I talk about my audio sources and everything. We want to talk about multi-stage audio real quick. I'll show you. So when we talked earlier about recording multiple tracks, when you hit recording and you're recording your MKV, because it should be an MKV, you want to record each one of your tracks. So each video has 6 tracks. And you can do that by taking this right here, and you can set each one so that it works. So that anytime Feeds talks, he's going to show up under Discord voice chat, and he's going to show up on tracks 1, 2, 4. And that's it. 1 is going to be my stream chat. That's what you guys hear. 2 is going to be my VOD chat. That's what the VOD hears. 3 and 4, this is going to be anything Call of Duty or anything myself. 3 is going to be anything Call of Duty, anything Call of Duty, and actually I'm going to get rid of that, and anything Discord or anything of my friends, and then I have one that's just Prox Chat. This is what we mean by splitting audio. Now, when it's so easy to record, I'm going to show the Stream Deck real quick so you guys can see this. There's this button on the Stream Deck, replay buffer, right here. You can actually go and download OBS or also Meld. I use Meld a lot, but I'm using OBS for my podcast. Meld, you can literally use clip. They have a clip button, and you can do it. It's the same thing as the replay buffer. It's just going to clip 90 seconds. You can also do the same thing in OBS where you have your replay buffer right here. That's what this is. So if I clip this, it's going to pull up 90 seconds. It's going to pull the past 90 seconds of what we did. And the reason why I know that is because I can go into my clips where I have all of my clips, and that recent thing is right here. It's going to take a second to load. Any second now.
Jeopardy theme music.
Or maybe it's not. And the reason why it probably didn't, actually, it might be replay.
I think that's the current clip that's in the process of recording.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm currently recording, like for the podcast. Yeah, you're right. There's something else. I think it shows up under replay, but I'd have to find exactly where I put it. It might actually be, no, it's not. It doesn't matter. But anyways, that's kind of what I'm saying. where there's so many different avenues and things that you can do to be able to generate a recording, and there are things that you can do to make it ridiculously easy. And that's one of the things that you can do. There's ways to make life easier for you. You just have to find the ways to do it. Reach out to any of our streamers. We got you. We don't, I don't know about other people, but I'm not going to gatekeep shit.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's just it pains me because it's so easy. And the difficulty that happens when we live in this world is that anytime you try to help someone or give them feedback that is not just a write out, hey, you're doing a great job, good job, kiddo. Like if it's not in a context where it's super happy dory Teletubbies, people are going to think that you're saying it in some certain way where it's offensive and judgmental when you're literally just trying to help. I see it all the time and it's so annoying.
I got critiqued today. Steffi critiqued me today. And I wasn't upset about it. It made me very happy. Because what she did is she's like, hey, why didn't you space out the videos over a month? I have my reasons as to why I didn't, but she's like, it would definitely help push the new videos for like better viewership. And she's 100% correct. But also as a content creator, you got to take constructive criticism and not just get angry at people. You need to respect it.
Yeah.
Because they're doing it to help.
100%. And like that's the thing too, it's like you have to also realize like those people are just trying to help you. They're not saying it in a way that's like to get you offensive or whatever. And sometimes the biggest thing for me, at least in Feed's brain, is that when I'm reading constructive criticism like that, I'm like the context that happens in my head when I'm rendering what someone said is, oh, Feeds probably just didn't even think of that. And most of the time with this community that we're in, we just all have so much going on. We just genuinely don't think about simple things. And yeah, you can get judgmental and say, oh, like you're stupid, you're silly. And it's like, I just genuinely just forgot. And thank you for letting me know. And sometimes that's all you need.
Of course.
But it's huge. There's so much to it though. Like, and with recording your replays and your clips and stuff, you can also prioritize it to certain folders. I have like Echoes, which was on your podcast not too long ago. He has it set up to where it records in weekly folders, and then inside those weekly folders are also what happened every single day. And so then all he has to do whenever I would edit his content would just to throw all of that, just one drag, one drop, and boom, everything is there. There's so many ways to make it easier. But the whole point of this and the whole context of all this is you don't need all these crazy setups. You don't need to invest in, the Stream Deck is great. I'm not trying to put that down. Stream Deck is awesome and it's a life changer. And if you can afford it, it's absolutely great, especially if you're someone that's doing so much at once. Sure. But at the end of the day, almost everything that you need that you think is not in your corner is free. There is so much stuff that is right there. Even with editing, again, what I do is not crazy. With DaVinci, there's a 4-hour video that I haven't even watched that I need to. And if I would take time and sit down for 4 hours and watch that video on DaVinci, I would know the thing like the back of my hand. But it's just setting aside the time to take care of it. And that's the same thing. If you're going to stream, so if you're going to sit down, you're like, all right, guys, like today we're going to go live. We're going to go play Outlast. Super fun. I'm terrible at horror games. Probably tons of funny clips. I hope you guys enjoy. And you plan on streaming that for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours, whatever. You plan on being there for a long time. And you know it's going to be a fun stream. You have people tuning into that stream that are going to enjoy it. Will they clip things? Will they not? Whatever. But why not, instead of streaming for 12 hours, stream for 11 and a half and take just a little 30 minutes out of your day and figure out your replay buffer and figure out your pathways for your videos and figure out fixing your audio and stuff. Do that one time forever. And then you have everything that you need. And then when you come to someone like me and you're like, oh, I need this video. And you have TikTok playing in the background. You have your music playing in the background. Then you have your friends yapping at you. Then you're also yapping in the mic. And you have 4 tracks that are all in the same thing. Well, if the audio split for me, it's just 3 delete buttons and I'm chilling, So it's like also doing that, you're also helping other people, because that's another big issue with editors like me that people always give me. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I don't want to bother you. And it's like, I respectfully, this is my job. Like, I'm supposed to be bothered. There's not a single thing that you can say to me where I'm going to roll my eyes and be annoyed. If there is something, which is mainly long form, that I can't do, I will tell you, hey, I'm not a good guy for it. And I will send you the @ his name is Super Jules, and he's usually who I reference everyone to. And I'll say, oh, Jules usually does long form. Go to him, not really me. If it's a couple minutes or something, I'll try. But the point of it is that if you would take a little bit of time on yourself, you have to actually understand you're not even really helping yourself. You're helping other people. Or if you're in a team, or if you're a brand that you're recording some type of project or some announcement or something for, and they want you to be the face of it, or you're doing, some party game for your team and you're going to upload it as a team content video or whatever, you taking that time on yourself to make yourself be more organized is automatically helping the behind the scenes people that you think doesn't even care about you. And
Yes.
it also sets a bad example, because then, which I do not credit this at all, and it's shitty for editors to be like this, but there are editors that get very, very upset and they will make subtweets, which is pathetic, bro. You're paid. Quit making fucking subtweets. But there's editors out there that get really offended. They're like, oh, I wish more people do this, more people do this. And it's like, well, I wish you would DM the person and tell them what they could fix, instead of just going online and yapping about it for your followers. Like,
subtweets don't work.
It's so stupid. But that's the issue, is that everyone wants a quick click, and it's so stupid. Everything that you can do, you can facilitate by yourself. And you can have people in your corner like Percussive, like me, or any of your friends that you're already gaming with, or already playing with. I guarantee you, if there is something that you genuinely need help with and you're confused and you don't have time to watch 40 minutes, and you'll say, oh, hey, Big Log 44, do you know how to set up, my replay buffer so I can start clipping things on my own? If you have a friend that you ask a question and they tell you right out no, they automatically don't need to be in your corner. If you are genuinely trying to just find some help or whatever. And that's another thing that I wanted to bring up on too, what we was talking about earlier, about, being yourself on stream and not being overly upset or streaming when you really shouldn't, and giving, new viewers a bad look or whatever. All of that applies to sponsors, which is what all of us are going for. All of us are going for sponsors. All of us are trying to go long form, and this video is sponsored by Clash of Clans or whatever. Everyone is trying to get to that point, and you're not going to get there if you're posting a link to some big brand and they say, oh, link us your streams. We're going to tap in and see some new creators we could bring on for a new video game we're playing. And you're saying, hey, my name is Billy Bob. Tune into my stream. I'm live every single day at 7 o'clock. Check me out. And let's say they do come to your stream. I'm like, all right, Billy, let's see what's happening. As soon as they click on it, it's you're a effing blah, 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 you're trash, or it's just, I'm just being upset.
Well, here's the kicker.
First 5 seconds, I'm out.
Here's the kicker. The moment you are upset, the moment you start putting yourself in that thing, it's the moment that brands are going to join your stream, and the moment the brands are going to see you upset. And they're going to see that you're that angry streamer, and you don't want to ever be labeled like that. The more the more times you're angry in a specific game, the more people are going to start putting labels behind your stuff. And
because I was just going to say real quick, the issue with that too is that if that's how you are on live, the issue that happens is that these sponsorships or these friends that you're appealing to, or these big creators that you're trying to collab with or whatever, their automatic first thought, in a non-judgmental way, this is a very human thing, is just when you're like that on your stream, they already start to wonder what you're like when you're not streaming. And that's what worries people. And that's why you don't get those opportunities, and you don't get those DMs, or you don't get those replies. Because if they already are unhappy when you're live and you give them a bad vibe, they're automatically going to think that you're not going to be that good to work with when it's time to be offline, when no one's watching. And that's what's scary. And that's why it's so hard to collab, because again, everyone just has some ultimatum. And if you would just learn to just be yourself and find a way that makes you happy, whether if you have to turn your 6 hours into a 2 hours because that's all you can do, I would much rather see a 2 hour happy you than a 6 hour guy or girl trying to just grind for a little bit of sub revenue. So like it's just night and day. Like who
brands are exactly the same way. Like literally brands, like they fiend for that stuff. And everybody talks. You never know who's watching. You never know who wants to sponsor whatever.
Incognito mode. Well,
incognito mode, yes and no, but like there's a lot of things that are behind it, and like there are a lot of things that people don't ever actually see. And as a creator, our job, you forget, like, just remember the roots. Remember why you went live in the first place. Remember the happy times. In the moment you keep that in your head, and you keep yourself level, you're going to be professional, and you're going to be exciting, and people are going to want to collaborate with you. Like, my goal as somebody who's collaborating with anyone is I want to make it as easy as possible on the person hopping on my stream. I want to make it as easy as possible to talk to. I want to make it so easy to the point where it's like, all you have to do is give me 1, 2, 3. Like, you tell the story yourself. I wasn't trying to make things difficult for you. I sent you a link, you scheduled, we talked about things in the background, you sent me a photo, I put things together, I put everything up in the background, and now here we are yapping.
Yep.
You gotta make things easy if you're trying to work with people, and that's not just from a podcast perspective, but also from a collaboration perspective. Like, reach out, be genuine, be yourself, and just remember that everybody is watching and you never know who's going to be there. Because the happiness, like the positivity, it goes a long way.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And that's like well, I mean, getting a little bit back, which is my fault, but getting back on the editing videos and stuff, like just to sum it all up, it's literally nothing crazy. Like I just figure out who all I'm uploading for, get an X amount of number that I'm doing. I create templates for everyone. I go and search all the videos for everyone that I'm downloading, find out the ones that I want to use for them that week, and then I just go in all my templates and throw them all in. And then I have to go back through all of my templates and format them all to their settings and stuff. And then I just edit and finish. And then once I'll do it in batches. So once I'm finished with this creator, then I will automatically go to Buffer, which is a website that I use for posting, buffer.com. The free version allows up to 3 socials that you can link. And if you wanted to use it for yourself, you can, or someone like me. It's the main reason why I use it is because you don't have to share passwords or anything crazy, no personal access to your socials or whatever. And right then and there, you can schedule on all 3 platforms and you can just upload the video, do the title and all that, and just send it through. And so then I would just edit whoever's video I'm working on, post it, and then I'll screenshot it and just send them a DM and say, hey, week 1, here's your upcoming time. So again, what I do is not insane at all, and it's not any type of difficulty. But what I just wanted to kind of get that out there, so I made sure I finished.
Oh, for sure.
But what I wanted to bring up, because I seen this not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, obviously one of the biggest streamers in the world, Casanat, and I seen some guy just getting upset that random people were just subscribing to him. And it's like, why are you giving a millionaire a $5 sub? Like, he doesn't need it. And it's like, when people enjoy your content, it's their token of appreciation. It's not, hey, here's more money to keep you going live. It's not, hey, here, notice me, senpai, here's my $5. It's literally just because they appreciate that streamer. And 90% of the people that throw in less than 10 subs have zero idea that they're going to be like, oh, thank you for the sub. Or like, they're the only people that do that are the ones that's throwing it in full force and throwing 100, 200, 300 gifted and wasting half their paycheck on an acknowledgement. It's insane. But for a lot of people that are just genuinely subscribing, and even to creators that are nowhere near the size, just to anyone subscribing all the time, and I'll see posts like that, like, oh, why are you subscribing to them? Like, they're already full time, they're already making this stuff. And it's like, it has nothing to do with financial. They just appreciate their content, and that's just a way that they want to share appreciation. Sometimes people want to drop a sub. Other times people want to send a big old long message saying how much they appreciate you. People show affection in different ways, and judging them is absolutely pathetic, especially when it's their own money.
It's very true. From a viewer to a creator, one of the biggest forms of appreciation is just showing up and saying hey and hanging out. And I see that with the people in my community. Like, Dunk, I see you, man. I see you've been here for 2.5 years. Like, I've seen the people who have hung around for the longest time. I've seen B-Town be here for 3 of the 4 years that I've been streaming, and he's here every day. We see the people in our chat. We know what happens. And, like, the biggest thing from a viewer to creator that you can do is just show up and be active. It doesn't matter if you sub, but we appreciate any sub that's given. At least in my opinion, that's my opinion. I don't do this for the money. I never have and I never will. I don't do this to grow. I never have and I never will. I do this because it's a passion. It is something that I want to do, and it's because I like creating content and I like putting myself forward, and it's allowing me to break out of my comfort zone. Now I'm able to go to conventions and talk to people in person and meet people and actually speak to brands that actually want to work with me. Like, shout out to Rally Esports, shout out to Zenny Optical, shout out to Drink Freshen Up Energy. Like, all of these sponsors that I never would have talked to unless I started making content, started putting myself out there, allowed myself to do things and put pieces and parts together. But from viewer to streamer, we just want to see you active and see you here. And, like, you can lurk. All is great if you lurk. Like, we just want to just say hey when you are here. And it's huge to us. It means the world to us. From streamer to streamer, the biggest form of appreciation is to trust your community with somebody else's community, which is also known as hosting or raiding. That is the number one show of affection from streamer to streamer. And the reason why is because you are choosing them out of all the millions of other streamers out there. You are trusting them with your viewership. It's huge.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree. And I think on that specific topic, the small thing I want to bring up too is like, because the obvious excuse you're going to get out of people that just heard that sentence to say, oh, all my friends are offline, or oh, no one's streaming, I don't have no one to raid to. It's like, well, you're playing Valorant. You have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are playing Valorant. So click on Valorant, click on low to high viewers, and find someone and skim through just a little bit and find someone that's entertaining, you know? Or in your free time, if you have 30 minutes and you're not doing nothing, go watch your favorite game and just click on random streams. See if you vibe, see if you connect or whatever, because then that gives you an alternative to when that moment finally happens and you want to raid someone and no one else is live except for Billy Bob that you just tapped in and he was just kind of funny. And now you guys have an actual friendship, all because you cared, you both enjoy the game, and he just happened to be streaming when you happen to be ending. Like, this is leaving that off and not allowing your community to approach that is just, it's taking away another relationship that you can also formulate. And that relationship may even be bigger than yours connected to that viewer. That viewer could connect to that streamer and they could have a bigger relationship. You are in no way, shape, or form in a place to say, oh, you shouldn't do that. Obviously you should. And if that happens, that alone should make you feel successful, that you brought your community to another community. And now that's someone that dude watches all the time.
Exactly. And this is one thing that I will fault Kick for, though. The biggest flaw that I have in Kick is their rating system or their hosting system. And so I genuinely want to say this, and I hope that Polly, you're listening, because I respect the hell out of your platform, but please revamp the hosting system. I want to be able to search people by category. I want to be able to not see a select subset of my friends. I want to be able to search people by category and see people without having to open a new instance of Kick and then have it feed back into my stream as I'm trying to search for someone to raid into. That's one thing that I hope that you can do. Twitch has that feature, and their feature is phenomenal when you're raiding out to people. If you can't see your friends, you can see people who's playing the same game. If you can't see people who are playing the same game, you can see followers of your followers. Like, it's stuff like that you can interact with on Twitch. So, Polly, if you are listening, revamp the host system. I love your platform. Well, it's not your platform. It's Eddie's platform, but revamp that. That's one thing I will say.
Yeah.
So,
no, I mean, I agree. It's just, it's the, to put it in the best way, it's the same exact thing from your streaming VODs to your clips. And that's the same thing. It's from your community to the next person, and that's growing and that's boosting you. The same exact way you're taking a clip from a 12-hour stream that was good and you're uploading it for content for other people to see. It's literally the same exact thing.
Also, make the minimum viewer 1 and not 5.
Yeah, that's true too. Everyone should deserve to get loved. It shouldn't matter how many people there are.
The biggest thing that when you show to raid people. So when I first raided out to somebody on Twitch, right? I first raided out to X Marie Angel. Marie had no idea I was streaming for an entire year, working towards affiliate at that point in time. The moment I hit affiliate, the moment I was like, you know what, I finally hit affiliate, I'm gonna raid out because I want to show somebody who I love, who I've watched forever, the love from my community. So I sent my community over to her, and I had 2 viewers. And she's like, oh my God, Perk, I didn't know you streamed. And then now she starts coming into my chat, and she's been coming into my chat randomly for years.
Yeah.
That friendship would never have happened with the 5 viewer mark. So we got to take away the 5. Bring it back down to 1.
100%. No, yeah, I agree. It limits so many things. And it also that I know that they probably don't intend for it to be that way, but it does come across that way because you have these small streamers that are just trying their best to get a couple people in just to make people happy. And then now they get limited by who they can raid out to because there's not enough people in their stream. And then it just kind of makes you feel a little bit rougher. And I know that that's not the platform's intent, but as the streamer, that's how you take it.
No, I mean, I couldn't agree more. But I mean, like, there's always flaws in every single platform, but
there is.
And like nothing's ever gonna be perfect. So I mean, it is what it is. What's one thing? Who inspires you with your editing style? Who is one person that you look up to in regards to editing the most?
I would probably say the guy that really helped me get he is active. He's just not too much as far as like clients goes and stuff. His name is It Goofy. Everyone calls him Goofy. A lot of people may not know him. He's not fully around like he used to be. He used to be super involved, especially in sniping back a couple years ago in MW2. But Goofy is a friend of mine that I've known for probably over 4 years, I would say. And he was also doing the same exact thing that I was doing, and it's another one of those things where it's like talking about content where it's like copying out that someone else is doing. It's like I kind of did the same thing in a sense, and he helped me get on my feet and stuff. Didn't really give me class, but just give me like tips and give me a folder with sound effects and stuff. But Goofy, he's had quite a couple TikToks that's hit, quite a couple million and stuff. There was another guy, his name is Royal. He used to be a part of this team that I was a part of for a short amount of time called Bear Claw Gaming. Royal is an absolute phenomenal man. He's a really large Apex creator, and every single video he posts goes crazy just because he stays consistent and has a community that loves him and wants to see him day after day after day. So I would say Royal and Goofy both have helped me a lot in terms of editing, what to do, how to appeal to people, what's funny, what's relatable, what's some silly sounds that are trending, what's some zoom ins or a version of text that I could be using, just stupid nerdy things. But Goofy, I still talk to him to this day. We're not nearly as close as we used to be. And back when I used to run my own podcast called Feeds Mindset, I had him on, and it was a fantastic episode of just being able to talk with him. It's been like over a year since I've done my podcast, just because I'm definitely a lot more busy now. But yeah, I definitely give a lot of credibility to him. He really answered a lot of the questions that I had. He did not gatekeep a single thing. He told me how it is. This is how this went viral. This is why this did well. This is what I did different on this. Like really picked his brain. And I would give him my list of like, oh, I noticed this. And he would say, not true. Yeah, that's not right. Oh, I didn't know about that. I'll try that or whatever. Just throwing ideas back and forth. So yeah, definitely a big shout out to Goofy because he is the one that really helped me set off. And then after like right when Goofy was helping me is kind of when I had ended up meeting Royal. I think his actual name is Hey I'm Royal on TikTok, and talking to him at the same time of talking to Goofy and just watching his amazing streams and his content and the way that he records his pre-scripted videos and stuff, talking about a new Apex update or a gun or an agent or maybe like a heirloom or something. Just so much nerdy stuff behind it. But both of them helped me out tremendously, and I 1,000,000,000% think that I would be nowheres if I did not have their advice and just their support being there, even if it was something simple of, hey, did you notice any silly music that was trending this week? It could just be the smallest thing. And just them just watching me, and that like I've even had them send me my videos. They'd be like, oh, good job, dude. Like this actually, this bangs, or this video actually went pretty viral. Good job, or whatever. And it's like they've held my hand the same way. I'm getting into that stuff the same way that they were doing. Even though Royal is his own creator, he's not like an editor. He just edits for himself, and then of course Goofy does edit for other people and stuff. So yeah, it's always good to have people to go to. And again, it's just, I never would have met them if I didn't have the initiative to ask questions and curiosity. And you're never going to know how much a person wears their heart on their sleeve if you don't try to get to know them. And with Royal and Goofy, if I never tried to start that conversation and pick their brain, I would not be able to say that they are the great, caring, awesome creators and men that they are if I had not decided to reach out and ask a couple questions. And there's so many opportunities every single day in the world that if you would send that DM or ask that question, it could change everything.
Absolutely agree 100%. And like it goes down to knowing how to network effectively and like being professional throughout every single one of your interactions. And genuinely like being able to take that shot in the dark and send that DM. Like one of the episodes that's going to be coming up soon, they haven't scheduled yet, but they did respond and they said, yes, I would love to do this. And yes, I would love for this to happen. I shot my DM, I shot my shot, and they said yes. And it was genuinely one of the coolest things. But so as we kind of wrap things up here today, and like I do want to ask, what is your advice to new and aspiring creators? What's the thing you want them to know?
Well, if you are brand new to streaming, because I think another big thing that a lot of people don't understand is, which is obvious to me and you, but streaming and content creation are not the same thing at all. Two completely different things. So for new streamers that are just now getting into things, you just need to find something that you're passionate about. Don't worry about the viewers. Don't worry about pulling people into your streams. Don't worry about hitting affiliate, hitting a fucking sub goal. Quit worrying about that. You are streaming because you want to have fun. You are streaming because you enjoy the things that you do, or you think that you can provide something to this world that other people aren't, which is most of the time just providing happiness and having funny or relatable content. So if you're a new streamer, find a game that you're interested in, find something that you're passionate about that you could see yourself playing for a few hours, and find some type of initiative to get out there and make friends. You're not going to grow just going live every single day. You're not going to grow if you decide to never post content and you just always want to stream. You're not going to grow if you just want to play, if you just want to slam ranked Valorant for 8 hours a day and just hope that someone stops by. No one is going to want to see that, because what people want is personality. And if you don't have personality to offer and you're not super skilled at the game and build credibility off you just being cracked, there's a very, very minimal chance you get out there if you just don't decide to try to branch out and network and make some friends. If you just go live and say, oh, whatever, no one showed up, yeah, no one needs to show up if that's the way you're going to treat it, because you don't have enough respect for yourself to want to build those connections. And you're just helping yourself in general, giving yourself more friends to play with, giving yourself better and funnier content, and surrounding yourself with people that whenever you are having a bad day, you have someone that's going to bring you up. And there is so many friendships and relationships that you are not going to build until you do that. And you could ask any streamer of any size and say, who's your favorite person, or who is some of your favorite creators, or whatever. Every single one of those conversations would never happen if they didn't have the initiative to make a friend. And I get it that it's hard to talk to people and stuff, but it's not that difficult as people feel like it is. It's just that first initial message and that first little scary thought of what are they going to think. Once you get past that and say, okay, I want to make some friends. This girl's playing, this Wuthering Waves games that I love so much, or this dude's playing Mortal Kombat and I used to play it so much as a kid, or whatever. Find some relatable topic. And when you're approaching and making friends, don't have an ill intent. Don't have any sub goal, any small thing of, oh, well, the reason why I'm chatting with you is I would love to be your friend and just love that we could stream together. It's like, no, it's a terrible way to go about it. Like, make friends, because if you want them to play Valorant with you or something, do it whatever time that they have. Oh, do you have time to play some games? Great. Hey, do you mind if I'm streaming? Is that okay? No problem. Totally different way to word that than I would love for you to be in my streams. Nobody's going to show up. And anyone you're trying to make friends with and you say that is an instant no.
So
go ahead.
On that note, there is ways where you can contact other streamers and be like, hey, you want to do a collab? Or do you want to collaborate on this game? I'd love to collaborate on this game. There are ways around it. There are ways to do certain things. But you're hitting the nail on the head 110%. Be authentic. Be yourself. Be kind. Be compassionate. Treat them as humans, not as an object.
Yeah. And when you're doing these collabs and when you're trying to reach out and stuff, the way you need to understand it is that if you had gotten your own DM, how easy of a process would you want that to be? Hey, I really love your streams. You're a great Dead by Daylight creator. These are the times that I'm live. I would love to, play a couple games with you, get some times in. These are my time frames if you're available. If not, no big deal at all. Being able to word it to where if you get an opportunity, you want that to be the easiest route to help whoever is asking for help. You should view that the same exact way of you approaching to other people needing things. The same way that Percussive does this podcast. Simple, easy, clean. This is what's happened. This is what's going on. Bang, here we are. And it was a dope time. And that's it. That's all people want. They want it simple and easy because everyone has enough shit going on every single day as it is. But a lot of people are streaming and gaming as an escape, and they're trying to do it to make more friends or because they have problems in their real life and stuff. So you need to formulate it in a way where those people feel like that you are appreciative of their time. And even if they do say no, you never want that conversation to be like, oh, if I would have said no to him, he would have had a really good friend. And it's like, well, I wouldn't want that as my friend anyways. So I think that's really important to just find a easy route to go because, again, just reiterating the same thing I just said, you want to approach people the way that you would want to be approached.
And honestly, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. It's like when it comes to a networking thing, I'm actually have a future podcast planned. Talking about networking in general, because there's a whole business class that's dedicated on how to network with people properly. You do it by meeting them in person. You do it by crossing the same path, and that's how you're able to do things. Like for example, let's take me and BB Jess, right? So BB Jess is someone I watched. BB Jess had no idea who I was. I met BB Jess at TwitchCon. We had our first connection. I told her how awesome she was. A year goes by before I even talk with her or even see her again, but I still show up in her streams and I'm active, and then she eventually remembers my name. Right. And then a year later, we meet at DreamHack, and then she was like, "Oh, I remember you from TwitchCon." And then we start talking a little more, and then things happen. And I'm not going to say I'm like best friends with anyone, because I'm not, and that's not the mentality that I'm saying. But it's about how you network, about when you network. It's not that you're trying to get something out of anyone. It was never my intention, and it was never Jess's intention. It's about having the mutual connection throughout your streaming career. Networking, the sole purpose of networking is to walk the same path and align your path with somebody else, because you think about the path that you're making, you're going to see people join your path and you're going to see people break from your path. It's just how things are. But the only true path that you can take is the one that you want, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's your life and it's your stream and it's your content, and we want you to be the best that you can possibly be. But yeah. Feeds, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you so much for stopping on into the PSP podcast. Thank you for being a wonderful host. And if you guys do need help with editing, if you're struggling right now on that front, hit him up. Like, because we all want to see people do things successfully. I'm probably going to have a conversation with him a little bit later on too, because there's some things that I want some assistance with myself, because the stuff that he puts forward is great. Because I'm definitely trying to take the next step, and I'm trying to really start putting out more content, not only on my main channel, but now also on my podcast channel. So things like that are going to happen. And the Feeds, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you're giving him a follow. And that was the PSP Podcast. And remember to keep spreading positivity, everybody. Until next time.